Good morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the Morning Debrief. It's currently the 15th of June. Current time is 7:50. Okay, good rally for the Dow overnight, which was quite positive. It looks like it's all been boosted from the data we had in China yesterday, which was, I think the market's just gone a little bit too far on the back of the news. When you go through the numbers, sure, IP was up a little bit, that's industrial production, and it was a little bit higher than the market forecast. But inflation was still high, so we're going to see more of a slowdown. So if anything, I think it's more of a knee-jerk reaction. It also goes to show the level of optimism that we have in the States. The rally started yesterday in China and back of the data, went through Europe and also into the States where we saw quite a good move to the top side. So it's that relative optimism that the States always climbs on whenever there's some sort of good, really positive news, which is a good thing because that creates stability in the markets. But it also creates false values. And that, to me, is one of the bigger issues, particularly when you look at some of the other data that came in the States, particularly wholesale prices, which were a little bit higher. Producer prices came in at 2.1 or 1/10% higher than forecast. Retail sales only down, okay, 0.2%. So when you take it from that perspective, you know, you start to get a sense that is it all justified to see the moves that we certainly had in the Dow last night, and I start to think, well, it's a bit of a tall order for that to actually occur. But anyway, I guess that's what we've got to live with, and they're the numbers we got to trade with. Okay, let's have a little bit of a run through in terms of just the overall market and what happened. And as you'd expect, equity prices go up. Commodities, some of them had lifts, some of them came under pressure. The dollar relatively stable, but let's run through all those. I guess the most important thing at the moment is what equity markets did around the world. The Shanghai index was up 1.1%, and that followed through to Europe. And just getting those numbers now. Europe was, I think it's a bit slow at the moment. Anyway, let's continue to move on. Not quite sure what's happening there. Let's just try one other thing before we get it. But generally across the board, everything was quite positive. And it's just all a little bit slow. Okay, let's hold that for a second. Let's have a look at a few of the charts until that comes up. I guess when we look at the Dow, we had a strong move, 12,073 for the futures. That itself, it's pretty good. There's that move there you've seen. Quite an aggressive move to the top side. Probably puts a little bit of a low in place at around that 12,000. And probably, as you can see, we've had such a long line of losses. So I guess the anticipation in my side is that this is a knee-jerk reaction and people actually looking to lock in some profits, which is one of those things it does. Dow was up 123 points, as we know. S&P was up 16. The Nasdaq was up 39, so that's pretty good. And we've broken that trend, but with these momentum indicators on the downside, probably expect a little bit of a lift there for the next couple of days. It just sort of makes sense, a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction, but all part of it. Let's have a look at the SPY then, whilst we're on the equity markets. And equity markets, local SPY up 13 points. There you are. Looks like we've got a little bit of a low here. Tried to break through this area 4520, and I think with that, it held through that level, and then obviously we've headed back to the top side. So I think it's that, once again, that level of optimism which will probably form a little bit of a low in place, for it, and obviously probably see a little bit of let's see a little bit of a retracement through to the top side there. Okay, let's have a look at the currencies now. And look at the dollar index, which is always the key. Dollar index 74.80 is where it is trading, and we've had that lift there. And as people know, that I'm pretty happy about that bull nature here for the dollar index. A little bit of low there at 73.50, and of course we know that low there at 72, and then almost 70.80. So we've had about a little bit of consolidation. Momentum indicators support it, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that dollar trade a little bit higher. Just looking at the Aussie now. There it is at the moment, trading in that range. Just be careful of that range, 107.70 on the top, and the downside now is 105.30. So it is in that range, breaks through the bottom side, sees it tends to trade lower, and obviously that 102, 103 is probably the key. But obviously whilst commodities are doing what they're doing, and also why you've got to expect, I think, that Aussie to stay pretty much within a range. Okay, moving on now to dollar yen. That was a trade which we climbed into, and as you can see, there's a reason why there. You know, we feel that it's to the lower end of the range, so we're quite happy being in that area. We want to see it actually take out that 80.50 level, which it wants to try. It takes out this level here, and then we head back to the top end of the range. So that's a trade we've been on for since since Friday. So quite happy to be on there. Righty-ho, so that's the currencies, some of the currencies there. We mentioned the SPY and the dollar index. Have a look at crude, obviously on the back of that IP data out of China. Yeah, pretty good. Crude obviously has a rally. Nothing wrong with that. It's still within the ranges. And I think if it has a daily close above this area, then it's sort of, you know, you can see that it's broken back into the range. So if I draw that in a little bit here, you can see that we're right in that range again. Up until it breaks either way, it's anyone's game. But all on the back of that data. As a result of that too, you've found that copper also had a bit of a rally, 415.50 from those lows of 403. So if anything there, you can see quite a nice, neat little rally there. Let's see how that unfolds. Now on the softs, we had an adverse movement across the board for the softs markets, and that's purely, I think, on the back of planting coming to an end and the market saying, well, look, we've got too much of a risk premium involved in the market. As a result of that, we're seeing a little bit of falling. We've seen that corn, obviously, at those record highs, find it a bit difficult to stay onto those highs. So we've seen that retracement here. And look quite bullish from there, but we've seen it lower. Wheat, similar story there, 731. Looked strong, and then all of a sudden expectations, but we are at the lower end, and soy on the same. So it looks like we're in for a little bit of nasty weather for those positions. If you are long, I'd probably recommend reducing some of the size of the position because I still feel that the season is not over. And chances are we will get some more weather scares. So let's see how that unfolds. Righty-ho, now in terms of economic calendar, what have we got now coming up? Obviously, we had the Chinese data yesterday and some of that other news, all part of the play. And let's just check that there. And I guess the important thing of the data coming out, we've got Westpac consumer confidence in Australia. So move that there. Consumer confidence in Australia, dwelling starts. Stephen Speaks, Economic Society of Australia. A little bit of data in the UK, Eurozone, a little bit of data in IP there, which will be widely watched. Look at these numbers, expect a little bit of a drawdown there, just slightly. And of course, we've got the important CPI data in the States. It's obviously a big number because we're going to really see how the industry is going. And that could reverse the fortunes of everything. CPI is expected to pick up a little bit, and I think that's certainly on the cards. Also, we've got capacity utilisation. That's expected to up a little bit, and industrial production up 0.3 from being relatively flat. So I guess overall, the market is pretty much starting to factor in some positive data tonight around the world. As such, have made those relevant positions, but anything could happen with the market. As we know, I'd probably err on perhaps a little bit more of a slowdown. That's the numbers which I'm reading at the moment. But if we have good numbers, that's good for asset prices. Certainly good for a little bit more of a correction on the Dow up to that top side again. Well, that's about it from me. I hope everyone has a great day. Good luck tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.